Welcome to Crown Chat with Nichelle, where we celebrate remarkable women who are making waves in the world while juggling the demands of everyday life, inspiring others, and leaving a lasting impact. I'm your host, Nichelle Miller, your reigning pure international elite Miss Central Region. Join me as we explore the stories of extraordinary women shaping our world right here on Crown Chat. Hello, welcome back to Crown Chat with Nichelle. I'm your host, Nichelle Miller. So excited to share my royal, amazing friends with you. And tonight I have someone very special to share with you. So I will bring her in. Hello.
Hello. Thanks for having me, Michelle.
Thank you for being here. Introduce yourself for those at home.
Yes, my name is Emily Mast. I am the current Pure International Miss.
Beautiful, beautiful miss. So we're going to get into all the things about you, but tell us a little bit about your impact project or platform for other systems.
My platform is called Big Sister Advice. I am the big sister in my family. I have three younger siblings, and so I've always been a mentor and a leader to them throughout their entire life. And then also having to step into that big sister role for all of their friends as well. So I think that I have many, many younger siblings, even though by blood it's only three. And they inspired my Be the Impact project, which is Big Sister Advice. I noticed in my community a huge disconnect between students in high school and being prepared to be a thriving adult in our community. And so my project aims to fill that gap by teaching core life skills and mentoring youth.
That's amazing. I love that.
Yes.
And
Thank
then
you.
we're going to get into that as well, but tell us a little bit about your pageant journey to be the Pure International Miss.
I've had kind of a crazy pageant journey. I'm a pageant veteran, most people would say. I've competed since I was 8 years old, so over 12 years at this point, I've been in the pageant world. I started doing just the fun pageants in the mall and then some optional ones where I get to dress in really cool costumes, and eventually led me to Pure. I've been with Pure International Pageants for the last 5 years, possibly even six at this point. It's too many to keep track of. And I've held many, many titles with Pure over the years, and I'm so grateful for that. I started as a teen, so I was Miss Michigan Teen, and then Miss South Michigan Teen, and then I went to the national competition and won Miss Teen USA. And then during that time, I aged up into the Miss division, so I was a teen national title holder, but aged into a new group and had to compete against the Miss contestants. And my very first year, I was so proud to get first runner-up at the international pageant. And then I came back the next year stronger than ever with a really clear mindset, and I was crowned. So that's been my journey with Pure and kind of my whole pageant journey as well.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And this series is all about the power to dream and pursuing your dreams. So, what kept you going? What kept you coming back as you were going for that title?
I knew that I was meant for the title one day and that it was going to be mine when the time was right. The night before I was first runner up, my first year in the Miss category at the international level, I had prayed to God that night and said, if this is my time and it's my time to have this title, crown me tomorrow. But if not, and it's meant for somebody else, give it to them. And being first runner up, that was very opening to me because I realized that there was other things in my life and with my mindset that I had to take care of first, but that passion was still within me to know that I can do amazing things with this title, and I knew that it was for me, it just wasn't my time yet. And so I think that was one of the main motivations that kept me going, was knowing that everything happens for a reason and when the timing is correct.
I love that. And I think so many times in pageantry, people think it should happen on that first time and then it doesn't. And they're like, oh, forget it. It's not for me. But you make a very good point. When it's time, it's time.
Yes, I've noticed that as well. A lot of people will come into the pageant world and think, "Okay, I've got this. I can do good the first time and I can win." And then they don't. And instead of reflecting back on themselves and saying, "Okay, what can I improve on? Why wasn't I the right fit at this time?" They try to project it outwardly. And one of my big thing is always focusing internal first and say, "Okay, what can I do better? What did I not prepare enough on? Was I unsure of what my plan as the title holder would be? Did I not have a clear mission and goal with the title as well?" And thinking through those things first before ever trying to see if there were external factors. And of course, there are times where something externally could have impacted you as well. And the result of the title, but at the end of the day, I'm a strong believer that you have the power to control every thought you have, every action you take, and every outcome that comes from those.
I love that. That's such powerful verbiage there.
Thank you.
So, I know you started very young, but do you remember why you got started in pageants?
I I do. So the very first time I'd even heard of a pageant was when I got a flyer for a local pageant that was happening at school. And so I had never heard of pageants before, and I was extremely introverted child. I never would have stepped on stage in my wildest dreams, and my parents wouldn't have thought I would do it either, but my cousin and I both got these flyers, and we said, "Okay, this would be super fun. We get to go buy new dresses and put a little makeup on, and we're young, and it could be fun." And so we decided to sign up, and I walked across the stage, did a little modeling, a little waving, and I got off the stage and started sobbing because I was so nervous, and I was so scared to be in front of people, and it was just a terrifying moment for me, but I came back the next year and was a little less nervous, came back the next year, a lot less nervous, and then just as I kept going, my confidence just continued to grow, so I'm so thankful for that.
It's awesome. Wonderful. So, what's
Yeah.
something you've learned about yourself while competing in pageants?
I would say the biggest thing that I've learned about myself is that I have the power to control who I am and how I wanna portray myself. In pageantry, there's this stereotype that everyone's perfect and you never do anything wrong and you're just amazing, beautiful women, which is true because we are, but everyone makes mistakes and everyone's human. And through pageantry, I've learned that that's okay. And it's okay to celebrate everything that makes you unique, whether you think that it's something that's a little bit strange or something that's a little different than other people. It really makes you who you are, and that's what I learned in pageantry is that I can accept myself, and I can also be proud of myself and proud of all of my accomplishments, and it not be something that's arrogant or cocky, but it's something that is just confident and celebrated by other people too.
It's awesome. So, how do you, I mean, you mentioned that you went on stage the very first time ever and then you sobbed. And how did you build that confidence? Was it the practice? Was it a personal mantra? Kind of what got you through?
I would say it's a lot of everything, so when I was young, I had really great role models in my family and friends who encouraged me to keep going and try again, and I'm really grateful for that. But as I got older, I started to realize that the only way that I could get to where I wanted to be in life is if I put forth the effort to do so. So
Mhm.
even in high school, I was very driven and was dual enrolled, but I knew that I wouldn't be a dual enrolled student unless I asked for it and unless I went for it. And so that's kind of been my mantra my entire life is if I know I want something, I have to do the work to get there. And so that's kind of how I've grown throughout pageantry. And then, of course, I've worked with many amazing mentors over the years as well. So between being third runner up at the teen national pageant to winning the next year. I had a fantastic pageant coach, and then last year as well, going from first runner up to the winner, I worked with another amazing pageant coach, and I'm very grateful for those because while I had the foundation of knowing that I can go after what I want and I can be successful in it, it was very helpful to gain some more skills and knowledge to really shape my mindset and to becoming the best version of myself.
Sure, sure. So, for people that are looking for a pageant coach, what are some qualities or some things they should look for to find the match for them?
I would say the biggest thing is finding someone that has a style that works for you. For some people, the best pageant coaches are the ones that rapid fire questions at them for interview. And for other people, it's someone who never asks them a question at all, but teaches them the way to answer any question that gets thrown to them. And that's the way that I'm more driven towards. I like to be told the strategy behind how to answer questions, how to prepare walking on stage, how to prepare a wardrobe, rather than someone kind of giving answers to me. That's
Mhm.
just how my mindset works. But try to find someone who's very aligned in how you like to learn. Some people are very physical learners and need someone who you can go walk in a room with and have sit down interview practice face to face with. Other people, they don't necessarily need that. And you can work with a pageant coach that is virtual only and and can be very successful too. So it really depends on what qualities you're looking for, what aligns with you, how you like to learn. And I would start there and then, yeah, find a pageant coach. There's so many out there. I particularly work with Maria Jerry Lando. She's called the Pageant Gal on Instagram and highly recommend her. But find a pageant coach that works for you because that is how you are going to be the most successful.
Absolutely. So, if someone were looking for a pageant, why would you push them towards Pure? I know I would I'm pushing everybody that way, but what is it about Pure that attracted you and keeps you?
Definitely. So, when it comes to looking at any pageant system, again, I really think you should be aligned on the values that you have. There are pageant systems that are very modeling focused, and if that's what you want in your career, amazing. Pursue those systems because you're going to excel there. There are other systems that are very community service driven or have a particular platform that they work with, and that's the one you have to choose. And then Pure, I would push people towards Pure because really the world is your oyster. You can create your own platform and your own Be the Impact project, and Pure will support you no matter what. And then the values for Pure very closely align with mine. We're family focused, faith inspired, and community service driven. And that's all of the key things that I hold very close in my life as well.
Awesome. Me too.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, we're glad
what
to have you here too.
what has been your favorite appearance out of all the things you've done?
Ooh, there's so many. I would say in my reign as Pure International Miss, my favorite appearance has been walking in New York Fashion Week.
Mm,
I've had the opportunity to do it in the past, but never quite took it up upon myself to do it. I'm not modeling focused or modeling driven, so it was never something that I really aspired to do. But when the opportunity presented itself this year, I was like, okay, this is my moment. I'm an international title holder. I just need to take it. And so it was a fantastic weekend and I loved walking. And then I also was able to win the Beauty It's Everywhere True Beauty Award, which is given out to a title holder who really exemplifies someone who is a true beauty, who has a very pure soul and is focused on making an impact in their community and helping others. And so I'm very honored that while I was able to walk in New York Fashion Week and have this really awesome experience, I was also receiving some sort of award at the same time. And I think that was a really special moment and appearance I was able to make.
absolutely. That's amazing.
Yes,
All right.
I loved it.
We have a question from a viewer. What do you do to prepare for pageants?
There are so many things that go into preparing for pageants, but I would say the number one thing to focus on is your mindset. So many people think, okay, I just have to practice my walk over and over and over again, and it's gonna be great. But if you focus on preparing your mindset first, that will all follow naturally and it will be magnified as well. So really think about why you want to win the title, why you're the best fit, how your values align with the values and goals of the organization you're wanting to represent,
Mhm.
and then focusing on not comparing yourself to others, knowing how amazing you are internally. You can celebrate other people at the same time too, like while you're reaffirming yourself. And I think that those things can go hand in hand, even though sometimes people don't like to see it that way. But I would say the mindset's the most important thing because then once you're shining internally and you know how good you are and you have all this confidence behind you, once you step on stage, it's just going to be this incredible moment where confidence just radiates off of you in the most beautiful way. And even when you start to talk to people, if you are confident in yourself, you know your missions, you know your goals, your interview is just gonna go smoothly because you already know everything you wanna say, and you already know that you're such a great fit for the role as well. So I would say focus on that first and everything else will follow behind.
It's great. Great advice. Oh, another one. What is your favorite thing about pageants?
Oh my gosh, there's too many to count. But I would say my favorite thing is well, besides the beautiful crowns that we get to wear, my favorite thing is getting to meet so many incredible people in the community. I have met people that I never could have imagined meeting, but they've inspired me and changed my life in so many ways. And it's amazing to know that while sometimes you have this thought in your head, I'm not doing enough, I'm not big enough in the community. And then even just yesterday, I ran into somebody that for the life of me, I could not tell you who they are, but they were like, "Oh my gosh, Emily, how are you doing? You're doing such amazing things. I see you in the community all the time." And I think that's really reaffirming to know I am doing enough. We are doing enough. And you're able to do that through pageantry and have a really pretty crown and sash to represent you while you're doing it too.
That's great. That's great.
Yes.
What piece of advice would you give a 5-year-old Emily?
Oh, the piece of advice I would give myself at 5 years old is to not let anyone take confidence from me, not let anyone try to dim my light. That's something that I've had to struggle with and grow through
Mhm.
pretty pretty often throughout life, and I know a lot of youth are struggling with that at this moment in time as well, with a lot of bullying happening. So the biggest piece of advice I have is just be confident in how unique you are, even if it's a little weird. I have weird things that I'm interested, unique things that I'm interested in, and I've I've found my people, and it takes time. You're not gonna find your people right away, and especially going through school, you're gonna go through a lot of friends before you find the ones that are your true friends.
Definitely, definitely. Okay, so now I have to ask, what's one of the weird things you like?
I'm huge into board games, and it kinda makes me sound like a grandma when I'm like, "I just wanna play a board game and have a puzzle," and cuddle up in bed. That's really what I like to do all the time, and when you're a kid and you go, "Okay, I like to play these really intense and strategy-driven board games," a lot of people might not be on the same wavelength.
Oh god. Well, then you need to come to my house because we have family game night and it gets intense.
I would love that.
It
I
is
would love that.
so intense.
I would love that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. One more question here. What makes you unique? Ooh, that's good.
Ooh, I was asked this in my interview actually for the peer title, is what makes me unique, what makes me different than the other contestants? And my answer to that still stays true to me today, and that's that my biggest value in life is accountability.
Mhm.
I said earlier on the show that I believe that I have control of every thought, every action, and every outcome in my life, and that keeps me accountable to everything that happens and everything that I do. And that's I think what makes me unique is that that is the core value I hold in my life, and I hold myself accountable to everything that I do and say.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. Oh, I
Yeah.
thought that was the last one. Okay, one more. How do you handle the stress? I'm going to kind of hone that in and say, how do you handle the stress of pageant week?
Oh, the stress of pageant week. Again, it kind of goes back to having a strong mindset. Because when you don't have a strong mindset, a lot of things can happen that can shake you, shake your confidence, make the stress overwhelming. And the biggest way that I handle that is having time to myself. So usually during pageant week, I would room with my family, but I realized that I am an introvert at heart, and so the best way for me to decompress and for me to handle stress is on my own. And
Mhm.
so I saved up a little bit extra last year. I did some more fundraising so that I could have my own room to myself, that during the hard parts of pageant week, I could go back and reflect by myself and have those moments to refresh. And so to handle the stress, that's what I do, but my advice to others is to figure out what you can do to manage your stress and carve out little times during pageant week to do those things.
Definitely. They said I'm an introvert too. I love that.
Awesome. So maybe get a room alone
By yourself for
during
sure.
pageant week because it's very helpful.
And don't tell people what room you're in, then they can't come knock on your door and find you.
Yes. Well, last year I ended up letting one of my very best friends stay in my room for a few nights as well, which it ended up working out great because I still had time to myself and it was away from the stress of everything going on at pageant week. It's so busy during the week and you got to take time to yourself
Yeah,
to remember, okay, I am a human. I need to eat some food. I need to lay in bed for a minute and get off my feet and it's normal and so you have to carve out those little moments of time.
definitely, definitely. You have had an amazing year for everyone that's following, and I've put your Facebook. Everybody follow her online. Um, so whoever is the next Miss is going to have huge shoes to fill. But what would be one piece of advice to that girl that receives that crown from you this year?
The biggest piece of advice is to cherish every moment that you have with the title. It's such a cliche thing to say, but it goes by so fast. I feel like I was just crowned a couple months ago, and it's about 2 months away before I'm crowning my successor, and it makes me so sad to think about because I don't ever wanna give up my title, but I know that I've done incredible things during my time, and now it's somebody else's turn to have a chance and to be able to take the title to a whole new level as well. So the biggest piece of advice is cherish every moment, don't take it for granted whatsoever because you never it's gonna come up so much faster than you think. You never know how fast it's gonna
Absolutely.
go.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it goes so fast.
It does, way too fast. I just want it to slow down, and I joke too that it's supposed to be a year-long reign, but I only get 11 months, so I'm all bummed out. I'm chipped out a month, but it's for a reason. It's coming at the perfect time, and I'm so excited to see whoever the successor is. I know of a bunch of contestants already, and every single one of them are incredible women that I know would be so deserving of being a peer title holder, so no matter what happens that week, it's gonna be so perfect.
You are just beautiful inside and out, and I just enjoy
Thank
anytime
you.
that I get to talk to you, and just you're so calming and so just put together. I mean, I could talk to you all night, but I told you I would keep it short. So, what's next for you? And, what else do you want us to know about you as we wrap up tonight's show?
The next step for me, I'm going to be taking a little bit of a step back from pageantry. Not for too long. I'm not retiring. I don't think I will ever retire from pageants, but I am going to take some time to myself and to my boyfriend as well because we've just bought a house together. So I'm so excited to finally announce that. We're closing in just a couple of weeks, and so that's going to be the next big phase of my life is moving in with my partner and renovating our entire house because it hasn't been touched from the 90s,
Wow.
but it's very
Wow.
exciting.
That is awesome. So, from
Thank
crown
you.
to overalls is how I'm picturing this transition.
Yes. Well, actually, I had to buy my first pair of overalls for a little special event that's happening during the Pure Pageant Week. So you'll have to
Yay.
follow the Pure International Miss title holder page to be able to see me and the other girls in some overalls.
I can't wait. I can't wait. And for those of
Yes.
you guys that don't know, internationals this year is in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. So we'll be
Yes.
heading down, gosh, in what, 6 weeks, 8 weeks? It's coming soon.
6 or 7 weeks. It's too quick.
It's coming really soon. Emily, I am so grateful that you were on tonight's show. I've loved meeting you. I've loved getting to talk with you. Our audience has enjoyed you. I can't wait to see what's next for you. I'll be following you. I can't wait to see you in a
I know,
little
I'm so
bit.
excited.
And I can't thank you enough. So, everybody, thanks for tuning in tonight. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Follow Emily on the Pure International Miss Facebook page. And remember, never dull your sparkle because someone can't handle your shine. Good night, everybody.